What if I told you fear isn't real? Let's put that to the test. Hey guys, it's John sitting here in my sit and love room having a fabulous morning. I hope you guys are doing well. It is beautiful outside. The snow is drifting down and I am here talking to you. And I wanted to go on and talk about this concept of fear as an illusion and how we can prove that it's an illusion. You know, there's only one moment that you're conscious in this world, and it's the present moment, here and the now. And in this present moment, you have the choice of the way you experience this moment. Fear is, as I say, an illusion. But why is it an illusion? Because in the present moment, fear is just an emotional reaction. It's a reaction to your past experience and an expectation that something negative might happen in the future. Fear in the present moment is just an emotional reaction to things that you can't change in your past and an expectation that's not set in your future. So in the present moment, it is literally just an emotional reaction. So that emotional reaction that you're having is a choice. It's a choice from your subconscious belief that says these terrible things can happen and that thing might happen. And in reality, in this moment, those things are not happening because you're afraid. Because you're fearful. The concept of fear being an illusion is found throughout all kinds of spiritual traditions. You know, the Buddha says the secret to enlightenment is the eradication of fear. The Sufis say the veil between you and God is your fear. And it comes back to this walking through the valley of the shadow of death and fearing no evil. It comes back to this idea that you have this power over your own fear. I look at fear from the perspective of it's like a fog machine, and you're living in a world that's created out of a much more positive substance, love, and we can't see that world sometimes because of the fog that obscures its view. And the more we look at that fog and the thicker that fog is, the harder it is to see something positive, and that fog is our fear. It's when you realize that your hand is on the knob of the fog machine that you realize all the power is yours, that you have the ability to set that aside. As I said, fear is just an emotional reaction. So all you can manage in the present moment is the emotional reaction. All you can do is take care of the fear by dealing with the emotional reaction. You can't change your past, and your future is just your belief coming into creation. So you change your belief in the conscious present moment, you change your outcome. And so, of course, if you're the creator of your experience, there's nothing to fear because you're creating it. So take this moment and understand that this emotional reaction you have, which is a very simple reaction, it's a primal reaction. It's your fight or flight response. It makes you draw air into your lungs and hold it. Now what happens is you're now holding air. Your body is in survival mode. It's saying, I need to store this air in case I need to run, because that is the primal fight or flight response. That is your natural reaction to fear. You know, actors on Broadway, if they forget their lines, they're trained to exhale and relax all their muscles, and all their lines come right back in their heads because they turn off the primal fear response. They turn it off, and all of a sudden, all their cognitive reasoning comes back.
And now, a quick word from our sponsor. Coffee Time with John. This channel runs off coffee, so get your coffee and tea at johnsjoe.com.
This idea that you have to succumb to fear, or you have to lean into fear, or that you know terrible things may happen because they happened before, or experiences have happened before. Those are just choices. You know, your experience in life will be your chosen belief about this present moment. And when you choose to believe the world is positive, you know, Einstein said the most important decision you'll ever make is whether you live in a friendly or an unfriendly universe. And that concept is the belief about it being friendly. You know, fear is based upon the belief that the world is not friendly. You know, the Old Testament said God is vengeful and jealous. The New Testament says God is love. Which God do you bow down to? Are you bowing down to love, or are you bowing down to fear? Now, I don't think you should bow down to anyone. I think you should lean into being a part of love and release those fears and those anxieties, because that's what all the teachers said, releasing the fears and the anxieties. Now, the way you only do that is to be fully present, be in the here and now. Release the past, release the future. Bible literally says, be born again. It says you must become as a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. It's about coming back to that space before all those past beliefs, where all those fears are rooted. Releasing those fears, cutting it off, being in the here and now, creating a moment that is completely fearless by exhaling, coming back to that place of releasing all the fears and anxieties by shutting off the primal response. And the more you do this, the more the fog in that room dissipates, and you become more aware of a more beautiful world. You become more spiritually aware of God, consciousness, yada, yada, whatever you call it. But it's a matter of you releasing your fears and being you to your fullest extent, stepping into your authentic self and showing the world who you really are. And what's interesting about that is you are a part of God, part of the universe, and you are an expression of that God, that universe. And when you look at it from that perspective, you are literally stepping into the role of being one with God by being your authentic self without fear. Because perfect love drives out fear. That's what the book of John says. That means that when you drive your fear out of you, you come closer to that nirvana-like experience, that heaven-like experience, that oneness with God that's always within you. But it always comes back to you driving that fear out of yourself by being the perfect love, by being the expression of the room without the fog, stepping into that role and living into the idea of being that greater awareness in the now. It's not a method, it's not a modality, it's not a technique. It's literally just letting go of your fear and realizing your greater divinity that's already here in the now. This moment is a moment of your choice. This moment is a moment of you being able to step into that reality that to be fearless is a choice. And here's the big secret about everything. There are two key elements of every big spiritual experience. And those two key elements are being completely present, being completely fearless. You know where they're found? In the bottom of a laugh. What is a laugh? It's exhaling, it's releasing all the fears and the anxiety, it's being completely present because you're not thinking about the past or the future. You're in that moment fully. That is the doorway to God. That is the doorway to your greater awareness. That is the doorway to you stepping into your divinity without fear. This concept of holding fear as a defining element of who you are, it will create your life that way. You have the ability to release that fear and be that greater awareness of yourself. Fear is an illusion. It's an illusion of belief that manifests itself in an emotional reaction in the present. Grab your present and make it fearless, and you'll have a greater awareness of your own spiritual self. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.